whenever working with a client, if there is something pressing from the client's perspective,
Hmm.
we do that first. It
Yeah.
it kind of doesn't matter what it is because until we do that, their brain's not gonna go anywhere else.
Right. And for you listeners at home, you've run into a spouse or a parent or a boss or a coworker where they have something on their mind. And until you help them address it, they can't have the conversation that you want to have.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yep.
that's to your point. That's why we do that with clients.
Yep. Alright,
Yeah.
so number 1 is whatever is pressing, like,
Hmm.
for the client.
Hmm.
Number 2 is starting to sketch out that mission, that vision, that ideal life
Hmm.
so that we have, a North Star for all the work that comes after.
I literally think of it as like a client walks in and we have a blank canvas and we
Mm.
are etching out with pencil what they want their life to look like,
Yep.
co-creating it
Yep.
based on conversation, right?
Yep.
Letting them feel it out. Then we get to use all of their resources and all of the tactics that we have
Mhm.
to help. Those are the materials that we get to use to bring that picture to life. Yeah.
And knowing full well that that picture can look entirely different 5 years from now.
It's going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to get painted over again and again and again. And some things will stay and some things will go. Right. Because we've talked about this briefly before, but it's like if you say, what's my life going to look like 5 years from now? You think like, well, nothing's going to change very
Yeah.
much. But then
More
you go,
gray
okay,
hair.
great. Tell me what life was like 5 years ago. And there's usually some fairly decent change in there.
Yep.
Right. So that's the other joy of getting to do this work is we get to know clients so well. I think that's probably my favorite thing is you get to know them so well and what matters to them that we get to help them avoid making mistakes.
Yeah.
And when I say avoid making mistakes, it's really just, I'll give an example. A client of mine really wants to retire early. And by early, I mean like in like 20 years earlier than the average,
Okay.
right? So the way we're going to save for them is going to be a little different than traditional savings for the tactical strategies that exist. But one of the things that they came back with one day was they went to a ski town and they came back. They're like, I want to buy a ski property. And I'm like, cool, you can totally do that. I know I'll run the numbers, but I know for a fact doing that right now is going to delay your retirement by at least 5 years.
Mhm.
Never mind, I don't want to buy a ski property.
Yep. Yep.
Right. And so it's like, it's just coming back and helping be the thinking partner with them on the life that they want to pursue and being the person who kind of holds up the mirror for them when they need it to help them kind of check in on what do I really want to do here. And there's so much value in that.
Yeah. Yeah, so there really are there are a lot of tactics, a lot of technical stuff, a lot of numbers involved in financial planning that is absolutely going to be part of the work, part of the relationship. I guess that's sort of in a way, sort of what enables us or what sort of powers the movement towards
Right.
sort of the more personal
Mm-hmm.
goals or
Mm-hmm.
aspirations. Um, I was going to say one last thing of those sort of risks that we look for is just to make sure your investment portfolio is invested appropriately.
Yeah. I think it's good you brought that up. We do actually manage money. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a mistake I have made in my communication. I think both sort of in public and with my clients is that for a while, the financial planning industry or profession, I don't know which to call it, emphasized investments almost to the exclusion of everything else.